did you always have that control?
It does definitely happens a lot. I mean, sometimes you use the captaincy is something that you necessarily don't because you don't put as much thought into it. As a captain, he sees the bigger picture. Sometimes it's too theoretical and it doesn't work in practice. So there's always, you have to find a balance for this thing.
Speaking of balance, there's been a great balance on the side of Team Liquid on a trio tee. There's been a trio, and at the moment they're not winning just yet. But
at the moment, but after the first game, you know, checking that Dota, thank you, very helpful. They will break the record for the trio that has played the most games together. They will be then taking over the reign from GH, Mind Control, and KuroKy with 1,120 games. And that is like, when you actually think about it, that is like a disgusting amount of games to play, like competitively, to be clear. Like this isn't, like when you think how many times have you played 1,000 games with your friend, that's pretty hard. Competitively, when there's prestige and money on the line, like that is so cool to see, and like, yeah, this trio has done so much.
Yeah, you're able to find duos that have high numbers, but for you to find a trio that has that high number playing together is incredible. It also is a sign, I think, of Team Liquid's philosophy, Matsu, because in terms of changes in players, that doesn't happen that often in this team. They are really, truly supportive of each other all the way.
I mean, the team is built on Blitz Dota. He built it, kind of built the team, got them together. These three came from Han. They climbed the ladder together, and now they are here. It couldn't be written better. You know, the script is there. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah, and it looks amazing, this as well. I cannot get enough of our cathedral that we have going on here. And with Team Liquid and Spirit on the stage, it really is just a cherry on top here, Sheep. I want to talk more about Team Spirit. I want to talk more a little bit about how their play style has changed over the year. And if people, you know, people might be tuning in as like, okay, upper bracket semifinals, that's the series I tune in for. I haven't watched all year. Team Spirit, what did they do?
Team Spirit are very fun to watch. They have a very big focus on Yatoro as their win condition. If you look at their drafting style, he has very often had his hero picked at the end, either on 18 or 24, depending on if they're first or second pick. Lal tends to be, you know, more sacrificial. It was actually an issue they had as a team. He used to be more of the focus on like having farm priority and win condition in his previous team, and now he's had to step back and learn how to readjust. So it is really cool seeing how they've gotten better at that over the year. They had to learn to be more aggressive at the start of this year, and now they're currently working on expanding their hero pools, which has been a big focus for them.
Yeah, I feel like at the start of this year, Tigov, there was a pretty vocal fan base calling for Laurel to not have a very long run in the team. I say that very, very friendly.
That always happens when you replace, you know, Toronto Tokyo for then a new player, right? And then for Lal, especially because he was picked up from a bet boom at the previous time that also didn't do well. So it wasn't as if they were picking up a player who was at their prime. He was like a fresh guy. And I think it does show that Spirit also has the same type of systems as a Liquid, because they went through nearly half a DPC year of just bad results, just nothing. And then because they commit, because they continue with it, then they hit the good stride at the end. So I think it is just testament that we have the two teams on the stage here have some of the best infrastructure and support network around their players, so that even if they are starting off a little bit weaker, they eventually, because they are doing the correct kind of scout system, they are going to get their moment to shine. And yeah, here it is.
Here it is. This team is, both teams actually, very easy to root for. And if you still need a new favorite player and you haven't watched the Boxy documentary, you really should, as that has some very heartfelt moments where he shares his about his health issues and losing his mom a few years ago during a competitive season as well. It's definitely a must-watch, and it once again highlights the support that a team like Team Liquid and Team Spirit as well, as we highlighted there as well, Sheep, can give their teammates.
I have massive respect for both these teams and the way you see them communicate in their like team content and stuff. Obviously, you can even throw it back to the beginning of this year.
Mira plays like me with his leg up. Kenji, do you see this?
The health issues on Boxy and Husadin, but jabs their coach.
That's how I played Dota too.
They then and won a series against Talon is insane. Like, they have such strong players and such trust in each other, and they wanted to just make sure that Jabs was comfortable and happy, and then were able to still play up to standard. Like, they're not tilting out, they're not raging at each other. There's just pure love and support.
And love and support is great. And we talked about the team playstyle of Team Spirit, but that love and support, how does that have an impact on the team playstyle of Team Liquid, Matu? If you were to describe Team Liquid's playstyle, how would you do it?
Well, I think this team is based on their drafts. They see heroes as like, we pick the heroes and the heroes kind of play themselves. It's hard to explain in like normal terms, but like they have a foundation of Zai and Blitz doing the groundwork for strategy, like heroes, what are we gonna do, and then the other four just kind of blend in and try to make that become a reality. And I just appreciate that we have two teams that are trying to actually play Dota on this stage. Like, they want to end the game early. They're not just waiting for like 60 minutes like some other teams, or even 90 minutes, or specifically 87 minutes that we might have just seen.
A little bit of shade.
They're all gone now. Like, statistically, all the teams with the average win time, like over 50, they're all eliminated. So they're all gone.
Apart from the match we just watched.
Outlier. This is good.
It's all good. That being said, I wouldn't mind seeing a long late-game brawl between these two. There's also something that is very telling always for a day one. We are day one of the finals. We've had a couple of days break, and for these teams coming in, it's very different from seeing them now.
Man, this was the grand final.
Us getting to see them tomorrow, because they have had so much time to prepare.
Yeah, they have, and we've seen with this new format, some teams have had maybe too much time to prepare. I'm already looking at Zai's pubs right now, and he's played a couple offlane Witch Doctor games in the week.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, wonderful. So, of course, they haven't touched it so far. They saw Nouns succeed with it, and now suddenly in the week break, this could be something they've been trying out. I think this week break is the curse of some teams and the best possible change for others. So we'll see if it is a advantage for either of these two.
I feel like I have heard that Liquid said that they are one of the best teams when it comes to, if you give them time to prepare, they'll nail it. Which also might be a reason why being in the grand finals best of 5, you need to be able to adjust mid-series, and that is then maybe a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, the week is interesting for sure. I'm glad to hear Liquid seem to be doing well with it. I know Spirit wanted to use the time to learn new heroes or train. And we'll see how they come out.
We'll see how they come out indeed. The wait is over. Our upper bracket semi-finals beginning.
Team Spirit versus Team Liquid. Game 1.
Here we go. To be able to have a fantastic game, we need some fantastic heroes on the board. In game number 1, Team Liquid will be Radiant side. We got Team Spirit on the Dire side with first pick, and Team Liquid will therefore get second and overall last pick, which could be considered a great strategic advantage. But we'll see what we have coming out of the gates right here. Sheep, is there anything in particular you want to see come out from either of these two teams?
Well, I wanted to see Primal, but it's gone, so that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
They're taking out Miposh because Ench was pretty hype.
Yeah.
Very smart. That guy is insane on the hero.
I mean, I think definitely like the sports are going to be very contested. Pugna, Grimstroke, like the flavors of the tournament. Personally, I just want to see Yatoro plays Faces Void, his Terrorblades, Spectres. Like, this guy is always a treat to watch.
No, for sure. And I think already you're talking about the carry. I'm going to go for the support. I think Miposhka on Team Spirit, he has been so insane this tournament here, with his Enchantress being, I think it's undefeated, Tusk as well, leading from the front. I think every time we talk about this team, we always seem to go Yatoro, Collapse, you know, everything here. But Miposhka, I think he is having a stellar tournament so far. But yeah, the supports I think are going to be key in this series for sure.
They're all really skilled. Boxy is versatile. He can play multiple different types of support, but I really like it when he's playing the things that can roam along the map and like set pace, right? Because he's the shot caller of the team, especially early. He wants to make calls, he wants stuff to happen. And I like when he's on his Tusk, for example, you see that so much. His ability to come on mid and help there sets up Liquid really well in early games.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Liquid's games always flow good when Box is feeling good and he gets to do his things on the map. I don't really know position 4 right now, but that role has like endless possibilities which fit him perfect.
Yeah, it's been great watching the Twin Gates and how teams are getting better at it. But I think Spirit, obviously, I mean, both teams are going to be looking into this, but there are teams that will use the gates like way more than other teams. For example, later on, Azure Ray, they love that. Making sure you control them or ward them and keep tabs on how these supports are moving is going to be very key.
And we got a Muerta coming out for Team Liquid straight out of the gates. Is this for Team Liquid also still a flex pick, T, or are you looking to see that only on Mika? He has played it, of course, earlier on, and we have not seen Boxy play it.
Yeah, like you said, Boxy hasn't played it. He has tried playing it a couple times in his pubs in the week building up to this, so I'd like to think there is some flexibility that has now been introduced to this pick. But if anything, for Spirit, them going for the Phoenix, it feels like a way to prevent Tree and Protector. They take the Phoenix themselves. It is the counter to Tree because, of course, you Overgrowth, I Egg better than Overgrowth. So Spirit trying to dictate a little bit of the draft just with going for the Phoenix. And yeah, we'll see if Liquid does have that flex with the Muerta.
We'll see indeed. We, of course, have our next ban phase straight out of the first opening picks. Team Spirit on the side of the Phoenix, there is some flex potential. We've actually seen it on Team Liquid playing it on position 3 with Zai, but Team Spirit has only played it so far on Mira on the position 4. The question is, will they do that again? It is highly likely, right, Sheep? Or would you not mind seeing it somewhere else?
I mean, I would love to see it somewhere else. Like, Core Phoenix is always a treat to watch. I don't think we will, though. I'm definitely more interested in the Muerta. I assume if they do keep the trend and keep it as carry, the way that Liquid will tend to play it is you have like your Pyke and stuff, you build her up to just be able to, you know, you power farm, hit the Ancients, and then eventually you're just going to be able to sit there and hit towers, and your team needs to just be able to hold off long enough for you to do that. Like in the past when we've seen Spirit play this type of thing, if they may be having a bad game or they have a carry they need to farm up, it's very much on Lal to be able to kind of be the barrier between his carry and the other team and make that space. So Liquid are going to have like their supports in there and Nisha who are going to have to let this Muerta have a good game.
Would you then like to see, with the emphasis on Laurel and Nisha here, would you like to see their heroes saved to last?
I think Spirit should keep their normal like win condition of Yatoro last bit.
Okay.
There is no point in changing it. I'm a little surprised none of the teams have picked CK or Bandit yet. So I felt like that was one of the strongest heroes of the tournament. I understand why Liquid is not going for it, because the Spirit picked Phoenix, which is probably one of the best heroes against CK. But are we gonna see Yatoro CK? Is that something in his book?
Yes.
Yep, there it is.
Wow.
Goodness, I still got it.
Still got it.
So good.
Very good. This will be the second time Yatoro will play CK this international. He has played 10 different heroes in 12 different games, only repeating 2 heroes twice.
Yeah. The main thing as well, like with CK, you have such insane burst damage with your ult and the blink that a hero like Muerta, if you are caught off by surprise, like let's say it is a carry Muerta, you have that potential turnaround. Of course, Muerta can then pierce through the veil, not get damaged by CK, but like, it's that constant balance of, do I need to position correctly?
Yeah,
do I maybe need to go Silverage instead of the big items so I can position correctly in the fight? It always causes you to have to think throughout the fight, and that's always a little bit scary when you're playing carry. I'm sure you can agree with this, where like you have to think of like this one hero, and if that hero is gone or finished with, that's when you get to fight. Like that's always a harder game to play.
It goes both ways, right? Because CK is a very committal hero. He gets in there, he's not leaving that, because that horse doesn't move very fast. So Muerta hits super hard if she just gets to right click at a single target that's staying still. So it's gonna come down to the jumps really.
Yeah. I have seen a lot of issues for Muerta players with positioning, especially when like Chaos Knight is also going to go for Silver Edge, and these teams, especially these like super high tier tier 1 teams,
backup
they will
carry
go for
real low.
So if you're trying to play Muerta and you're trying to rely on like Silver Edge and not being found, and some CK comes around the corner, also invis, and they have a gem, like you're just dead. So I've seen Muerta struggle some of these games.
That is the biggest problem with Muerta peaks with like 5-6 items like that. She's like the ultimate late game hero, and CK peaks what 10 minutes. She's like the king of the hill, the boss of the gym.
Boss of the gym.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Also makes
Phoenix
sense
Egg?
Spirit, this CK pick.
Yeah, so they'll probably want to, Snap's still on the
Been
board.
trying it in offlane as well. We've seen it a little bit in the road to TI. He hasn't played it so far, but again, that's the joy of this extra week break. Because this CK, I think if we spoke about it a week ago, it's like, it's the carry done. But now, because we've had this time, Willow could be carry, could be 4. CK could be offlane, could be carry. Like, there's a lot of ambiguity with Spirit sign up so far, and for Liquid, they have flexed themselves, but they're gonna have to start answering some questions because they got the double pick now, whilst having a lot of question marks on where exactly are Spirit's heroes going.
Yeah, I'll throw another argument in there. So far, whenever Phoenix or Willow got picked by Team Spirit, both of them always played by Mira. So maybe I wouldn't put it past them to just have that up their sleeve if Liquid doesn't address it, which they kind of have to, considering it is up in the air. You kind of want to cover all bases, but they're ticking into their bonus time quite heavily for this one, so they're really trying to find the best puzzle piece.
This is gonna be the deciding pick where they're gonna take the more than the whole draft really, so
yeah,
they have to make the right decisions right here.
Did they do it?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
There's still one more pick. It's
I know.
the two picks. Hold.
Gotta give it.
Now did they do it, Matu? You got 2 seconds to answer. Go.
Oh my God, that's a spin.
Let's go. Voice acting?
No.
This is
I guess Sven for the CK.
Well, what do we think about it? Because this means that most likely Muerta is support. In a fast, far away land, I've seen Sven support, but not really on the table at the moment. But
I mean, it's the same concept, right? It's a hard carry that's going to want to farm. You're going to have to protect that the Ancients. The Muerta becomes a little bit more of a greedy support. She doesn't really synergize super well with Grimstroke, like being able to run in. But you have Tide for that. He'll be able to go Meteor Hammer. They'll be able to pressure the map, try and like take these towers. They have really good team fight. Their draft so far is very well rounded on Liquid.
Yeah, it's basically like a lot of laning combos as well, right? Because if it's gonna be like Grim Sven, double stun lane, you often don't really kill a lot in Sven lanes. You more move to kind of farm. It's one of the weaker carries actually getting kills inside the lane, and then it kind of amplifies the Tide plus Muerta to actually do things, and then probably Grim will just turn it into a tri-lane, I'd say like around minute 5, minute 6, if he's against a weaker lane, but already Spirit are quite aggressive in that lane.
Usually the setup with 2 range supports is like you just pick 3 beefy cores and let them tank it. Because you don't have the natural roamer tusk or like Spurs or something like this. So.
This Sven gonna get kited like crazy.
I would love a Dazzle on Liquid. It's not quite the beef, but it's like fake beef.
Oh, but they've already got a front lane, so yeah, he can beef them up and make them feel happy.
Yeah.
Because I think for Liquid right now, their lanes should be pretty farm heavy. Tide, I mean, right now, what's stopping him from just getting a Meteor Hammer and just soaking up that area of the map? They do need that timing to play on, where probably Nisha or mid lane is like, okay, 20 minutes when Sven's got his Blink +1, Tide's got his Hammer +1 utility. That's Liquid's kind of statement to make their entry to the game. So already Earth Spirit's a decent ban from Spirit there, taking away that time.
They really need to make something happen in the first 20 minutes. I feel like this Tide will struggle against Phoenix, Willow, Kunkka. They're all naturally good against the Zero. Like, they're apex predators. They're just watermelon, just wobbling around on the map.
So sad, the poor guy.
Oh no.
10 seconds.
So, I'll go for it.
I was going to say, Spirit, when you look at their heroes, it is so hard to actually run into them and feel happy, right? There's going to be Terrorize, there's going to be Egg, there's going to be just CK blowing up a hero if you're out of position. Kunkka with the tidal wave and the boats and everything, right? Like, Spirit is super... Like, they can get kills, but also they are so formidable if they don't want to cross the river and they just want to choke you out through existing on their own side of the map. This is a really scary draft to run into. That's why I'm looking at Liquid to get that Nisha hero that's a little bit more explosive. Delay those timings, delay their ability to fortify themselves as 4 or 5 heroes on one side. And again, Earth Spirit was a pretty good ban. What's that next Nisha hero that has that same kind of explosive style of play?
Oh, they think 3's the last pick.
Still in the pool. Like
Could
just
be.
Helps deal with Chaos Knight in fights.
Could be the carry.
Helps buff up his Sven and make it a little bit easier for him to take fights.
No, I mean
maybe you get this vessel as well, and that helps
like
you.
Liquid's bans were all 3s.
They actually have freedom to pick kind of whatever they want here. Like before, they played like a sniper game, for example, and it's like when Spirit has bad backline jump and it's only a CK. Do you want to play a whole game of Dota where it's like CK has to kill sniper? That sounds kind of spooky. Like, I don't think I'd ever say this suggesting a sniper, but like maybe if this pick from Spirit isn't very good at finding the backlines, it could be a sniper game. Oh, okay, they have an axe. All right,
I do feel like we're not in the universe of Sniper yet, quite yet.
Oh, I know,
maybe for, you know.
Yeah, are we in the universe of enjoying a collapse axe game though? That is so cool. Yeah, that's a good hero. Good player hero combination.
No dazzle for you.
Actually, you know what? I actually hate
right now is looking for their mid hero for Nisha, who will go up against Laurel's Kunkka. Correct? We're on board with that one? All right, and Magnus coming out. That is a fan favorite right there.
I mean, they're TI heroes, right? We've got Axe, you know, the calls, and we've got Magnus with the RPs, Ravages. We need like an Enigma to complete this draft for the arena at least. But yeah, this is going to be two beefy lineups running at each other.
I know Blitz likes his circles, and he just picked like all of them. So
that was a predictable draft.
I don't know if it's good or bad, but we'll see.
Okay. You have to have blind faith with Liquid, right? No matter what. Like,
of course, I'm rooting for Liquid. Easy game.
You understand how the caster curse works, though, right?
I've heard of it.
So are you still going for Liquid?
Well, technically, I'm not a caster. I'm just a retired Finnish dude who came all the way from his home to here.
Well, Matu, that's why we would like to hear from the coach, Blitz, instead.
Thank you very much. Yes, I am joined by Blitz of Team Liquid. Blitz, obviously, this is the grand finals matchup from Riyadh Masters. Game has changed a little bit since then, but are there any lessons that you learned from reviewing those replays that you're applying here now, a few months later here at the International?
Yeah, I mean, I learned that they're a really, really good team, so we have to take it a little bit more seriously. And yeah, I mean, I think we understand that they're super flexible, and Miposhka is probably like the most annoying player in the world, so target him a little bit, don't give him edge.
This is high praise coming from you. How about on a lighter note? I saw that you tweeted you're looking for some song recommendations to hum in there in the booth. I don't think I saw much lip syncing. Did you not get any good recs?
No, I mean, Taylor's version of 1989 just dropped, so I've been bumping that. I'm pretty basic. I mean, I listen to like a lot of like early 2000s because that was my jam, and yeah, me and Matu have some songs together and shit, so it's all good.
I mean, you're just pandering to the crowd. All right, then I want to pander also. Guys, I know a song. Can I get a stomp, stomp, clap from you guys as we get ready into this game number one? It's pretty good, guys. Let's get into this. Let's rock with game number one.
We will rock you. Cinderman. Sunsfan here with Cinderin. Upper bracket match, the first of today, and it's a doozy. Team Liquid versus Team Spirit. You ready?
Oh, I'm ready. It's good to be back here. It just feels right to be back in this venue, and I love what they did with the place this year. It looks absolutely amazing. It's so cool to see it packed. People are ready for some high quality Dota, and we're going to bring it here. If this game is any indication based on the draft, there's going to be some big-ass team fights coming out. You've got RP, you've got Ravage on one team. The other side has Supernova, Ghost Ship, and Axe Call. So, like the panel was talking about, look for the circles, you know, and look for first blood.
Yeah, it's already happening. Mira looks to be dead. First blood goes the way of Liquid already. That was very fast, but at least we caught it on camera this time.
Yes.
As Miposhka is going to get skewered a bit. Nisha with some body blocks of his own.
Okay.
Looks like they might be able to pick this one up as well, as he only has Fire Spirits, which is, of course, on cooldown. Another dead shot to come. And one Stormbolt into the right clicks. It's enough for Liquid to already be off to a 2-0 start.
It's okay, it's okay.
Year, since they've all been to basically every land throughout this calendar year. Liquid, a lot of second places, of course, which they're a bit salty about. Spirit, though, I mean, overall, I think Spirit are 7-6, so pretty damn close win-loss record between these two teams.
Yeah, and if you're Team Liquid this year, like you said, all those second places, a lot of them have been to Gaming Gladiators, and then you were like, oh, nice, we get to play another team in the finals, and well, then they lost to them. So
that's right.
You know, maybe this could be, this would be the perfect time to really bring it all together and finally grab a tournament win, because obviously for these players, that would be the first Aegis. So they've got a long road to go, though. Winning this series would put them in the top 3, which is already very close. They were there last year, I believe. They got 3rd, if I remember correctly. Looking to improve that placement this time around.
That's right. So Laurel will be playing against Nisha. No big surprise, of course. Both mid laners for each respective team. Kunkka versus Magnus. Magnus, not a hero been seeing that much this year. What is this pick all about?
Yeah, I'm wondering the same thing. I mean, clearly Team Liquid are tripling down on trying to shut down Yataro's Chaos Knight here with multiple big AoE spells, but I do wonder if it's a little bit too much of a good thing here that they have too many of these circles, as they were talking about, that the heroes perform the same function. And you're also picking Magnus into Kunkka mid, which I think on paper should be a pretty bad matchup, right? Magnus, sure, you can see us a little bit here and there with Shockwave, but Kunkka, you're never going to harass him out of lane, and on the flip side, he's going to be dealing some serious damage once he hit level 3 and especially level 5. So curious to see if Nisha can stay afloat there. Laurel has been very good on his Kunkka in some of the games we've seen, and give him an easy matchup, it's going to be even better.
Another hero that the panel did discuss and talk about probably for the next 10 minutes straight is Collapse's Axe, because this is one of his patented heroes. He kind of doesn't matter what the meta is, what people are picking generally. Like, this is a hero that he will pick because he feels comfortable with it, and there's a reason for that, because he absolutely destroys.
I think, you know, a lot of the time when people bring up, oh, hang on, Insania.
Well, he's in a bit of trouble. Battle Hunger applied right now. Looks like he'll take out eventually, as there's an Inkswell now. On to Mickey. The Mira will likely die shortly after eats a tree. It's not going to be enough, as now just the position 1 and 3 are there to clean things up.
Yeah, just barely missing the brambles there allowed Mickey to connect and get that finish. But yeah, what I was going to say was, a lot of the time when you nominate players for, okay, who's the best in the world at a specific hero or whatever, you know, a lot of the time there's discussion. I feel like very few people will be contesting Collapse on Axe based on what we've seen this year. Like, this player-hero combination, it's also easy to be the best player in the world on a hero when you're the only one playing it, but, you know, there's a reason he still plays it when nobody else does, right? That tells a very clear story. Zai here in some serious trouble. Will be cracking off some minus armor there. Be fine.
All right, since it's the laning stage, we're going to have to come up with a good name for this, okay? Because we haven't, I don't think you and I have cast a game where the anchor, whatever the hell that shard for Tidehunter is actually called.
Dead in the water.
They got rid of Tentacle Surprises. Boxy looks to likely be dead here to Yotaro's right click. Zai, nice big anchor smash on Miposhka, who has to be pretty careful here. Body block's coming out as well. Pops the Fairy Fire. There's a Fire Spirit as well, which means Zai can't got another right click, but the anchor smash not in range this time.
Gonna pull him away there with the Reality Rift to ensure Miposhka gets the Lotus Flower here. So
anyway, back to the important discussion. What are we calling that anchor, Cinderin?
Dead in the water.
No, then we're not calling it that. I'm not gonna scream dead in the waters, but Miposhka, he still ends up dying. As Zai ends up being in range, anchor smash on a right click will suffice.
I got nothing.
Okay, good.
Dead in the Water is a good name, Shannon. Just call it what it's called.
Well, does connect as Mickey's coming in with that war cry. Mira, there's the Stormbolt to connect, and he's going to have the one actually.
The one charges.
Using the trees.
Wow.
Really nicely. Very in there.
What a waste of CS for the +1.
This was always going to become challenging. He's doing really well for himself on the CS. I was actually expecting Kunkka to be pulling ahead at this point, but now the real challenge begins with that level 5 coming in. Perhaps even with the CS advantage, you still have to, you see him using a salve there. That constant harassment is still going to make it tricky, but top 3 net worth currently sitting on the side of Liquid. So they've got to be pretty happy about that.
Boxy, he's going to get pursued by Miposhka. Fire Spirit hits as well. This looks like it's going to be one way or another. Nice dead shot, though. Not going to create enough space that eventually Boxy will fall. Yeah, looking at Nisha in the mid lane, like looking at the CS overall, very even. Is that what you would expect between these two heroes?
I mean, I was expecting a slight advantage for Kunkka, so I think this is a job well done by Nisha already. Oh, hang on. Yeah, Collapse.
Well, Collapse gonna get slowed a bit. Boxy trying to
he gets the Vanguard just in time, though.
He does. Is that gonna be enough to actually make them survive? The dead shot keep going back as Collapse trying to TP out will be fine.
Oh my god. Did you see that?
Yeah. Perfect timing too, because
not only does he survive
that, but that was a 3-hero attempt from Team Liquid. They brought Boxy down there, so always feels good to survive those. But either way, despite not killing the Axe, they still force him back. He has to do the long walk back to bottom, and keep in mind he doesn't have boots. Rushing Vanguard, he's probably going to miss a wave and a half, if not 2, on the way down here, and that almost feels as good as killing him, to be honest. So not bad for Team Liquid.
It's not as satisfying, though. You need
that is very true.
You need that dopamine rush. Zai at level 5. Oh, Nisha, mid lane, is going to get X as Miposhka makes his way over as well. Do they have enough? But looks like he's going to get off that skewer with a shockwave to follow. But it's going to right click him into the ground. So nice pick off there from the likes of Spirit.
In the meantime, it does cost them Yatoro, though, because there was a 3-hero play top coming out from Liquid. Both supports rotating together with the Tide. Slowing down the CK here, pretty important. Zai is almost level 6. Yatoro is level 4.5. So this top lane, it's one of the luxuries that Tide has against Chaos Knight, is that it's one of the few offlaners that can survive against CK +1 with just a couple of levels. So with Boxy leaving that top lane to go bottom, you leave solo experience in the hands of the Tide. And now Zai is going to show up with this Meteor Hammer and almost level 6, and this top tower will fall. Yatoro.
Yep. Well, to cancel the first usage. Nicely done from Yatoro, but this obviously will eventually go down one way or another to Zai.
Surprised he didn't cast that from the tree line there. Actually just walked up straight in front of the tower. And
making him use mana. It's very efficient. That chaos form, very expensive. It's Mickey trying to keep Collapse off, but he is very tanky, as we said, has raindrops in his inventory now. The backpack, I should say, with the boots. And are you expecting any variation to... Are we going to see Aghanim Scepter at any point on Axe? Been in love with this Aghanim Scepter, Octarine, Arcane Blink build that I've been seeing.
Well, if we get an 80-minute game, he'll probably have all those items. We've had one of those today already.
I mean, we've been having a lot of those long,
like, look at those
really
stacks.
60+
Oh, if Seven sees that
stuff. Would be a big surprise.
I don't know if I've really seen Collapse by Ags. I want to say
okay, never
I've
mind.
seen it
They go to
one
cool
game
stuff.
maybe, but it's not a common pickup for the hero for the most part. So maybe this is the kind of game you do it in. Applying the.
Oh yeah, they're already 4K net worth. The fuck? At 7
sorry,
minutes?
not applying the minus armor. Getting yourself the plus armor here is very valuable against these heroes, obviously. But don't know. Still not completely sold.
Okay. You'll be a believer by the end of this game, I'll tell you that right now.
I correct myself. I was right both times. It both gives minus armor and plus armor.
Yeah, it does.
And I just corrected myself to saying it's only one. Why didn't you correct me? You know this Axe so well.
I do, actually.
Yeah.
I just don't want to embarrass you in front of millions of people.
That's so nice of you. I would not do the same for you, though.
Yeah, I know. That's
Let it be known.
A robot.
Yep.
No emotions. Zai, level 7. No boots yet. Still in his stash back at the base, but he's taken firm control of this top lane. And that's kind of what the Tidehunters do.
Yeah. And he'll start going to work on the tier 2 tower. Now, what's so pesky about this hero in this game is that I feel like aside from Axe, Spirit don't really have the best way of controlling the Tide and killing him off, so he can... It's going to require such a big rotation of like 3 or 4 heroes to kill the Tide that even if you do get the kill, it still doesn't feel great. So it's kind of one of those fires you have to put out, but it doesn't... You don't really like going for the kill, but if you don't, he's going to take your tier 2 eventually, and that's probably a bit too much to pay. Collapse just farmed some big stacks though, so he will be getting there.
Yatoro gonna get some help from Laurel here with that boat. Gonna set everything up onto Boxy. Super easy kill. Of course, just the support, but I do want to talk a bit about the CK.
Mr. always free food.
This has been a hero that has kind of risen
when you play her support.
The ranks of like just tier 1 carries. Why is that, do you think? I mean, I know big deal is like the Bristleback counter, but we're not really seeing Bristleback much because
he got a really big buff in 734D to the Chaos Strike, which effectively increases the damage you do against creeps by a lot. And that means you farm faster, it means you have more sustainability in lane from critting on creeps, you heal more. That's honestly one of the big things. And also the way the meta has developed has become very much about tankiness, right? This carry is tanky in its own right, but it's also good at killing tanky heroes. So it's kind of the whole package. It's a strong laner, which you also like at the high level. So there's very few drawbacks, and you're also seeing why when this hero is picked that Liquid are taking it very seriously, right? Like they understand how strong it is, so they're not only counterpicking it with one hero, but with multiple to try to solve it.
Yep, as we have another X. Zai, he's already taken a tier 1 top, so that means he needs to go to another lane because Meteor Hammer is extremely effective against these tier 1 towers.
Yeah, can't really kill him though.
Yeah, they're just making it known that that they have heroes here.
Yep.
They can't just bulldoze everything.
Curious if he's going to go Axe this game. It feels like an interesting game to buy Axe on Tide, right? You can hit all of the CK illusions. You're playing against multiple enemy melee cores. It's a blink cancel against Axe if you cast it on Fog. It also hits Dark Willow and Shadow Realm if she goes dagger. She can't blink. Multiple good things to be said about it here, but I think first and foremost you need to make sure that you can survive if you get Axe called. And Axe is not going to help you too much with that, and obviously there will be an inevitable Silver Edge as well for Yatoro later in the game, so you kind of need to plan for those hurdles later on.
Well, good news for Spirit fans. Collapse does have his blink being delivered right now, and expect that to be go time. And Blade Mail to come next, and then we'll really see what build he wants to go for. If he thinks it's going to go longer range, maybe, I was going to joke and say Midas, but kind of another Midas is that Boots of Travel. Wouldn't be too bad. Into, of course, BKB. Then you take apart the Vanguard for Octarine, and you go for Gildan.
Oh, yeah. And then you get that Arcane Blink.
That's right.
Works wonderfully in your game.
You're being sarcastic. I've seen him do this, though.
I genuinely think it can be good.
It's very good.
It can be good, but it's very expensive. It's a luxury build later on. Okay, they're going to try Zai this time.
Well, they have several heroes here, most of the team, in fact. And Zai is going to get some support coming, but it's going to be too late as the egg is dropped as well.
Cancellation
of the TP. Miposha technically gets credit for that kill, and now Spirit looking to take out the tier 1 tower as well.
But that's the perfect example of what I was talking about, right? It's a 4-man rotation.
Wow, Collapse connecting.
Nope.
Tomorrow, I see.
He did.
We talking about tomorrow?
I like calling blade stacks. Tier 1 tower.
Or are you talking about like?
Well. Now they know
not doing nothing.
Question is, what's the next power spike for the side of Liquid? Like, what is Nisha looking to go for? He has the Echo Saber, going to go for the Harpoon first, it looks like.
Yeah, that's a bit of a concern with their lineup, right? Is if neither Tide nor Mag buy daggers, how do you initiate fights on your terms, right? You kind of need this either Surprise Ravage or a Skewer back to really set something up. The Harpoon can obviously do it, but it's a bit less of a surprise. You give the enemy more reaction time. And if you don't take any initiative,
at your place, Jim's place, my place,
farming the jungle, right? You have multiple heroes that are really good at this. Both teams have put a lot of emphasis on it, and also in making stacks. On one side, you have Axe and Kunkka that can just cleave down these camps without any trouble, and on the other one, you've got Sven and Tide. So, plenty of ways of just getting an economic advantage.
Is Jakino not doing another watch
that
party?
Makes one pressure move and then gets to stack, and the other one is sitting back quietly, and that's kind of how Spirit have built their 2K lead here. Is they've had a couple of more successful moves, and while still maintaining that very high level of farm on their Axe with the stacks here. Actually higher net worth than the Sven on Axe. And this is a Sven who's 2-0-1 with 150 CS. Axe is still on par with this guy, so.
That's why he is considered by many to be the best Axe in the world right now. And he's almost done with his Blade Mail. We just talked about him finishing. I mean, they've been doing a really good job of stacking. He's been stacking a bit himself as well, but this is some crazy farm. And once he gets that Blade Mail, expect that the initiation just to continue over and over again.
It's something that I've been criticizing some of the other Eastern European teams for. In particular, we had one game of Bedroom that I think it was, where they barely stacked anything. And then I look at, you know, Team Spirit, I look at Liquid, and in a stale game state, they make sure to maximize that. Perhaps that's one of the secrets as to why these teams, you know, claim a couple more games here or there. It's just that those little efficiencies really build up over time, and they're very much not wasting any time on their supports. I want to say that there was a ridiculous game. I don't remember if it was this tournament, but Liquid were stacking unbelievably many camps on their supports, just recognizing, well, this is a slow game. This is how we get net worth. Yeah, he's dead again.
Not exactly the target they wanted, but they'll take the second chop of the game for
second call charge.
Great.
Not looking good for Savani boy.
And that was a level, was that a level 2 dunk? No, that was still level 1. I think he's got 3 level 1 dunks out so far, right?
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
No,
he's got 2. So he's got, anyway, he's got 3 armor extra. Very nice.
Good job.
Thank you so much.
Blade Mail now officially finished at base, so we'll bring that shortly. Now, from the side of Liquid, looks like there will be a blink coming out for Zai, and actually he's opting to go for Shard really early after the fact. We'll see if he continues with that, and then continue our very riveting conversation of what the hell to call that thing.
Because we're just watching.
But we'll be able to blink away. Mickey finally showing up to a fight potentially, but the Terrorize is going to connect on him. But Mira couldn't get out while he could have.
Wow.
JK,
wow.
Yep.
I swear, that's one of the most annoying spells in the game.
Yeah, about the conversation about Dead in the Water, what makes a conversation is that 2 people are talking, and you're kind of the only one in the room who cares. So
a lot of people talk to themselves, I feel like. That's perfectly normal, right?
Is that a conversation or a monologue?
Depends on how many characters are inside your head.
That's actually a very fair point. Great.
Thank you, sir. This is TI-12 main stage upper bracket, by the way, in case you're wondering why we're having a podcast right now.
All right. Dead in the water. We're done. It's called what it's called. It's a great name for the spell. All right. We have a call and a dunk.
Beautifully done. So another dunk from the side of Collapse and Team Spirit.
All right.
Oh, we're going to see the Harpoon being put to good use here from Nisha. Inkswell's coming for him, though. The Yules dodging a bit here. This Collapse is finally going to get off that call, but he doesn't really have that much of backup here. It's just the Phoenix. Sandy, okay, they're going to be able to blink away. Another Harpoon coming into a skewer, back into the fray, and Egg is placed, but Collapse, he actually gets the call. He's going to be able to get the
Oh my god, he actually got the call.
They actually canceled the RP, thinking they wouldn't need it. And now Insandia might die as a result, but no, here comes the big bad Sven, and finally they take out Axe. But it's going to cost them 3 overall from the side of Liquid. Deadshot connect onto Miposhka. Looks like they'll at least get a second, but my goodness, I feel like that Culling Blade should not have happened.
Yeah, and Nisha definitely unhappy with that outcome, right? I can understand why he maybe feels like the RP perhaps isn't needed there, or yeah, it just wasn't, maybe he wasn't keeping track of the call coming off cooldown again, but when we see it play out, it's kind of obvious that that's going to be the end of it. Grimstroke in these kind of situations, Grimstroke doesn't deal that much damage, right? It's Magnus that has to do the brunt of it. You're getting a little bit of a stun here and there, but really needed to commit all out, and I'm sure Spirit are very happy with that. Of course, 2 of their cores didn't even need to get involved. Sven came over for the cleanup, so Liquid are the ones rotating a core to salvage the day, whereas Spirit are just completely free farming on the CK as well as Kunkka in the meantime. And that is going to result in Larl picking up a 17-minute Torrent Storm here.
Pretty good.
Preparing to get himself the shard next.
Oh damn, Waterworks is here.
A lot of water in this.
Yeah, and keep in mind, I think the shard in this game is like particularly good. It's very annoying for Magnus to deal with this item, right? And he's going to have to buy BKB to solve it, and that again in turn means Nisha is not getting that dagger. And you're playing against triple melee core, so Torrent Storm is also going to be amazing. And Liquid will probably really struggle to win any meaningful teamfight if Torrent Storm even comes out. I think even if they land their spells, they're going to be stunned and controlled for too long. So got to be very careful with how they approach things. Zai with the dagger now. Could be a bit of a game changer if they do find a burst, but Spirit Heroes are really tanky.
Oh boy. I just saw Midas queued up here from the Dark Lord.
Oh, Zai.
Onto Zai. Yatoro has come as well just to finish the job.
Dodge.
Big kill for
And
Spirit,
look how much damage that freaking beam.
How many times
This beam does so much damage!
Like
Holy
what's
shit!
What's so fascinating about the way that he plays Axe is that the map generally is quiet he goes and calls someone, the map is quiet for a minute, and then it feels like the next move is always him, you know? He's like snowballing, he's finding all the initiations back to back to back to back. He's doing a really good job of keeping the ball rolling here and not having too much downtime. Liquid are struggling a bit to string too much together. It's not like a criminally big advantage here for Spirit, but you got to be a little bit worried that, especially when you see that Magnus Grimstroke move essentially kind of fail, that maybe they're going to try to slow things down further, and I think that's exactly what Spirit wants. If Liquid resort to farming, you're giving up Roche control, and you're playing into exactly what Collapse has been doing for the last 10 minutes. Are there any key items that they can get to solve this problem? So obviously a classic item against Axe is Yules, but nobody's buying that on the side of Liquid. And Collapse will eventually get a BKB, at which point it becomes kind of irrelevant. You don't have any save except the Inkswell shard, but that doesn't remove Berserker's Call. It's undispellable. You can remove the other stuff though. Maybe it's go time with Sven Echo Saber. He disassembled his Echo into BKB, so he needs to refarm it. Perhaps that's the timing you're looking for. You have Zai level 12 for the level 2 Ravage. Could be an idea.
Laurel has that shield rune now. Tier 1 tower looks to be what they want, and they'll get it without any contest whatsoever. Getting close to some Tormy time action here in 10 seconds. A lot of these cores are opting to get for early shards. We'll see how much they prioritize taking Tormy himself, and that is exactly what Team Spirit have on the menu.
Wow, such an early Tormentor.
It's going to be either
Mira will be getting it, so the old Curse Crown Bramble combo.
I should do this in my game.
It's going to be either Mira or... Was it only Mira and Yatoro missing it? Yeah.
Really? That's it?
I think so.
That's crazy. Yep. That's some early shards. My goodness. Collapse already has his. Gracious.
Yeah, and the CK one is really good as well. A lot of the time you see CKs even buying this. I think Yatoro in this game is going to prioritize getting the Silver Edge as fast as possible, or just
if they get
incredibly important item here.
If they get their Tormentor right now, this is likely the fastest 5 shards we've ever seen. Like
I do think that's probably true. Yeah, the whole team having a shard minute 20, but Liquid are not going to let that happen. They're planning here to contest that 21-minute Wisdom rune, but Spirit well aware that this play could be happening, so they're bringing the numbers too, and Liquid are...
wow, is he gonna... Oh my god!
Not gonna cost the life of the Spirit.
Can you watching?
This does mean, like you said, that
why did you hear you screaming too?
To finish the Tormentor, so I'm actually a
so
little
many
bit surprised
plays in this game. They're getting hurted like sheep.
Shard isn't
oh, nice time away from Larl. Boxy's gonna have to use his ult to stay alive a little
bit
longer, but he's stuck in this corner. There's Collapse with the call, and eventually the dunk to come. That is dunk number 5. As Collapse just continue to roll, will be the boots.
Oh, they found Zai as well with the Euls. Brambles.
He's going to connect. He's going to have to make his way through this maze. He has a very fat body, but looks like he'll be able to find his way out into the arms of Yatoro. And Collapse comes in as well. Another chop to his name. And now the tier 2 tower will take some heavy damage here.
And we're really starting to see the problem with the Radiant lineup that I was worried could happen here, is that all of the moves are from the side of Spirit. Liquid's heroes are, this is inherently a very greedy lineup that needs a lot of time to farm up all 3 cores, and nobody truly wants to go in first. So what ends up happening is that they're spreading the map thin and trying to farm as much as they can, but they're just bleeding too many heroes along the way. If Spirit keeps finding a core kill every minute or 2, this is not going to be a winning strategy. Like, essentially, at some point you're going to have to pull the trigger and go for a fight. And with the BKB on Magnus, maybe that's it. How long can you wait here is the question, right? You've already waited quite a long time. And the one smoke move you made, hang on, there we go.
God's trying to use everything on to Collapse, but
the
destroying him! Thinking gets deleted, and now DJ puts himself on the cliff!
Oh no! How do you... That's so sad!
And it just feels like it's inevitable. He will fall in the end, 2 for nothing.
Did you look at your Nisha, Kenji? Did you see what your Nisha did?
There's gonna be another chop to Collapse. And just like that, Team Spirit take even more
clipped himself!
Meke just went for it and didn't pop
oh my
and just
gosh!
He just ran in, started the fight onto the Axe. They call him and kill him with Blade Mail. All right.
Very simple, and now they go for Rosh.
Yeah, because I swear, Axe is like the hidden carry in Team Spirit.
Okay, he gets
legit.
BKB running, gets comboed by Kunkka, and the fight is already lost here. If your Sven dies first and you don't get off Ravage at all, the RP is late.
Like, the thing is, why the fuck is Sven initiating when they have a Tidehunter, a freaking Mag, and a freaking thing, the Ink guy?
It's quite uncharacteristic, if I'm being honest. Liquid are making some pretty significant individual mistakes, right? I don't know if it's the nerves or the pressure here.
Sven has to legit come after the Mag ulti, or at least the Tide ulti.
Big stage for a
and try and just like boom boom pow at least 2.
But they really overcame it last year. And this year, obviously, we've seen tons of second placements. So you wouldn't think that it would get to them,
because like Sven's not going to do anything after his BKB is done. He's like dead.
Their players, definitely not their best individual performances that we've seen.
It's just tradition that
like he actually got like what was that 2-3 man RP? If Sven was alive, that would have been like easy.
So fully appreciate that. But yeah, 12k lead for Spirit now. Aegis in tow for Mystery Yatoro on that CK. He's got a BKB, Silver Edge, Armlet, Echo Saber. He is huge.
And he's not the only one. All these 3
Oh, a Midas.
A rare pickup from Mira, right? He likes, I say rare, but he's one of the 4 position players I would say that are less greedy in terms of itemization. You saw him rush the Euls here, but just feels like, you know, the state of the game here, it's very safe. You don't have to get an additional utility item like a Glimmer Cape or whatever. He's doing a lot of work with just what he has, so.
Boxy, Phantasm into death. Oh, we go.
There's no ult. Oh, they do have ultis.
Nisha's gonna be able to BKB skewer away. Collapse comes in for another kill onto
Zai.
not even much needed.
Holy
really.
shit, they're like legit cutting the tide now.
When's the last time Liquid actually got a kill in this game? I feel like it's been...
We haven't even seen them dead in the water yet.
That's true.
That skill is dead in the water.
Oh, look at that! Oh, Aegis down.
Aegis. Can he take out Collapse in tow as well as the egg is continuing to go out? Will get the stun off.
Imagine if Mag got that fucking RP down.
Nice dispel.
Oh, the RP actually puts him onto the high ground.
Nice, nice.
Be able to pop that ult as well, so he'll do significant damage, but tidal wave is there from Laurel. Not going to do too much of an effect here. They've already lost 3 on the side of Liquid as Yatoro limping away. And Laurel with the XTP.
Oh,
like he'll be safe. Looks like a potential good turnaround from Liquid, but
they didn't get a kill.
You need to get a kill first for that to start happening.
I think their last kill was minute 15.
I feel like Liquid has the draft. They're just not
what's concerning about this,
executing
aside
right.
from the fact that they haven't got
I think they still got a chance to come back,
is that this was the timing for their lineup where things were meant to be happening. It's once you get these BKBs on the Sven and on the Magnus that you want to take fights and at the very least trade.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with the Mag either, because the Mag was legit just there, just behind the tower.
Zai has not got to play his hero. Collapse is 10-1. They combine with him very nicely. I love the pick in this game, not only for the Tide, obviously the matchup there, hero to hero, but look at all the synergies he has in his team. He can get Bedlam from his Ion.
Oh, dead in the water onto Axe! Into what though? Mickey gets off a stun as well. He's still anchored. He's ignoring the anchor, and finally Nisha comes in, gets off a skewer with the BKB as well. Collapse completely surrounded. Will they?
Oh, Collapse is dead now!
Okay.
Here we go, here we go.
Toro now trying to run away. Is BKB still active? About to run out though, taking heavy damage. Will fall now. Zai, which feels like the first ravage of the game. Now Laurel's gonna be completely surrounded. Poach goes on high ground as well, but doesn't have his egg quite yet. Torrent Storm dealing significant amount of CC, but it feels inevitable that they will be able to get this Kunkin kill. So Liquid are going to end up finding 3, trying to dive the Ogre, but not.
Wow, look at that! Almost team wipe.
Liquid with a 3-0 fight. Are they alive? That all
started
with dead in the water, by the way.
For the first time in the last 15 minutes, they jump Axe, right? Yeah. With the exception of the Sven killing himself on Axe.
This is what Combat Gold does!
They find the key target, they pile on him. I think Collapse had BKB on cooldown as well, so that made the kill that much easier, and they finally strike back and get something going their way. Gonna need a lot more of those, though, as obviously can't guarantee in the next fight that the conditions are going to be the same. You see the BKB cooldown in the bottom, 5 seconds until that would have been ready. And that, honestly, I think they would have turned this fight around entirely with that BKB usage. So very big for Liquid that they timed that out. And Yatoro, who was trying to help, ends up being collateral. So obviously, in hindsight, Spirit better off just letting their Axe die there and recognizing, okay, he got caught, he was out of position, let it be, but they're trying to make the most of it into a fight and end up getting punished big time, losing all 3 cores.
Yeah, and we should mention all 3 cores for Spirit are melee, so dead in the water. Not to talk about that again, but I'd love to. Pretty damn strong. You don't want to group up against the likes of RP and a Tidehunter Ravage and whatnot.
Oh, Zai.
Yataro's going to show himself. Kraken Shell activates, but this is going to be way too much damage. Didn't even bother using dead in the water. Do you get gold for that?
Yeah, it gives 50, I think.
Oh, 50.
Yeah. 10 gold per hit, you know?
Very nice, like a little baby Midas for the enemy team.
Well,
I think that is an underrated shard, though, I will say.
It is. I mean, it is very good. It's also it's become a lot more popular on Tides in this tournament than it was previously. I think they really picked up on how good the item is, and we're seeing the promise of what it can do in this game. Liquid's conditions are just too hard. They're just very, very far behind.
That is
so
true.
It's going to take some sort of really clean engagement. I'm still
as long as someone has the
to kind of be the big playmaker here. I think you need to go for some sort of displacement plays where you skewer somebody into a bad spot and then take the fight from there. Because that thing with Collapse last fight, as great as that was, it's unlikely to happen again in the same way, just because that was the perfect storm of him not having BKB and being out of position, and his teammates not being in the right spot to help him. So it was a great punish from Liquid, but they're going to need more of them. 13k is still a mountain to climb. Roche is up in 2 to 5 minutes. Wonder if Spirit, they're kind of looking at high ground here, which is okay.
Oh, they're in.
Again, do they have enough to get on this Ravage? But he dies shortly after. Does have buyback though. Maybe a bit of a mistake. He's going to use that buyback right now. As Mickey coming in, he's going to be able to delete Mirror to start this fight.
Oh, the egg's about to hit!
Massive amount of damage with that Sunray applied as well. Beautiful
Spot just freaking cast it after the BKB on Sven.
With the anchor applied to another call.
Axe call.
And everybody is super low. Collapse somehow lives. Meteor Hammer of all things causes the death of Yatoro. And Laurel TPing out on the other side of the tree line. He will be okay. So it's a 3 for 2 in favor of Spirit. They maintain that gem, it looks like.
Yeah, that was a pretty big win for them. They got the Zai buyback as well. So essentially a 4 for 2 there. Keep expanding their I think that really caught Liquid off guard. It's one of those moments where you kind of just can't believe they just go for it like that, right? It's like you're standing on your high ground, heroes are missing, you could get counterplayed on, but they immediately just jump him in the base. It's very clear here that Liquid were not expecting this. Look at their hero placements on the map, right? Nobody is nearby with the exception of Grim, who can't save him from the call. Has to buy back to sort this out. Nice quick kill there from Mickey. Isolating the Willow is very important for this to not turn into a complete travesty, because if he doesn't even find Willow here, I think they barely even get a kill. But this
I felt like the RP and the Egg kind of traded stuns. Both guys were stunned for quite a while, so kind of
this re-engage from Collapse, super clutch, despite missing the cull there. And that Meteor Hammer, if that doesn't land, that would have been possibly a lane of barracks. I actually think CK could have turned and won this fight plus a lane. With just one crit heal, he could have kept going, but they do finish him off and at the very least stay afloat. But
yeah, I was gonna say, like, what was the point of buying back if you don't have Ravage?
They combo with him so well. They put the Bedlam on him. They put Sunray on his initiation. They have the Torrent and Torrent Storm follow-up and Boat. There's just so much stuff. And Liquid playing without any sort of key save really makes this last pick work so wonderfully. Really, like when you look at this Spirit draft just on paper in this patch, I think it's just super, super strong. It has everything you want. It has catch, team fight, strong laning, and late game scaling. And all of the heroes work well in pairs or in trios to even take skirmishes. So you just have so many, you know, like the decision-making tree is just so big for you. You can do all sorts of things, whereas Liquid's is a lot more pigeonholed into one style. And that means if that style doesn't work, if you don't find that exact type of fight, you're playing Spirit's game.
Smoke from Liquid. Satanic
this is what they want to do.
For Nisha.
Oh!
Will they find each other?
Oh my god!
We can see we'll be up in 30 seconds. Here. Shield room, he's going to get the initiation off onto the Sven with the Sunray coming in from the Egg as well. As Nisha looking for the RP.
Oh no!
A couple away. Stormbolt to fall, there's the right click to command, but Mickey is extremely
Sven is down. Mad coming in.
With the Ravage as well, but that's a dead Nisha. Already 2 cores dead for Liquid. This is looking very, very bad for them as Zai stuck between a bunch of brambles will eventually be brought down as well. 3 for nothing. Make it 4 as that.
I know, right? I know. He didn't even freaking RP to save Sven. What the fuck?
Survivor for Liquid, but now they're on the doorstep.
But I guess you know what? I feel like they were scared of the CK when they should have been scared of the Axe Core.
Oh.
Yep, true.
He was the one hero alive that still had a voice to yell help, but there was nobody to help him, so, you know.
Now knocking on the door is Yatoro and Team Spirit. How much will they get?
At the very least 1 lane. Just half a minute on Sven, Mag, and a minute
No,
on
I think the skewer was fine because the Egg missed everyone from that skewer.
It just feels like
no Ravage, no RP.
Yeah, how do you fight without Tide and RP, right? You have these 2 big ultis, so when they're not available.
You do have Dead
Team
in the water,
Spirit's winning.
That's true. That's a great ult.
Okay, now that we're gonna have a slight break here, I have a very important mechanics question to ask you.
Go again.
I don't know the answer to it.
Yeah, me neither. I don't know, sorry.
Okay.
Ask someone else. Ask Fog backstage. He knows everything.
So how do illusions work against Dead in the Water? Do they count as half a hit, a fourth of a hit? Like the CK illusions versus Anchor, or versus Dead in the Water?
That's a very good question. I'm sure we'll figure that out later.
Appreciate you joining me as always. As Yatoro looking for the second Roche of the game. And it's going to be a freebie for Team Spirit as they are in the driver's seat right now of this game number 1. But of course, it is a best of 3, and these teams, like we said, have had a lot of back and forth throughout this year. Almost an even record between the 2, but I feel like their last really big matchup, as Torby's being taken on the sideline here, it looks like, was Riyadh. It was a 3-1 for Spirit. And even though Liquid did win 1 game, the 3 wins for Spirit were very decisive. I would say it was not very close overall. So they've had their number more recently, I suppose.
And now they're also going to have the Aegis and Cheese in this. That a full Scott. Oh my goodness. Yatoro is enormous. Completes up the Eye of Scotty now. So now rocking about 27 armor as well as 4,500 health. You put a Sunray on that. You put a Ghost Ship on that. Put an Aegis on it too, so you got to deal with it twice. The work's definitely cut out for Liquid. And the problem is here, even if you do kill him, right, you're only taking fights during BKB, but what happens when the fights get long, right? Can you actually even stick on targets? There's so many problems. You have to deal with the Torrent Storm, the constant tidal waves for your melee course, navigating brambles. Well, they find Mira, so that's something.
Honestly, for people that have been watching a lot of Dark Willow, that was kind of cathartic to watch her die in that manner. Just being kited horribly.
Friday Night Tea is good.
But it is a very valuable pick. We've seen it as core a lot of the time, but the fact that it can be flexed between...
Okay, Mickey is in.
Okay.
Oh!
Niche on the sideline, uses the harpoon as well.
RP's down. Oh no!
Hunter is super healthy. Yataro's still ready to go on the outskirts of this calling.
BKB down on the Savannah if he could get the Ghost Shift off. There we go!
Is this going to turn into anything? The big
what a pop!
They will find Laurel in the end, so Liquid off to a pretty good start. But can Spirit try to capitalize? Dark Will is still dead from earlier, so just like that, it's a 3v5, but still Aegis intact for Spirit. There's the call, re-aggression from Collapse. Yatoro coming in with that silver edge. Gonna get skewered to the other side, though. Can he armor toggle away? No, he's gonna be feared to the other side, and that is the Aegis down. They will get Zai. And Sania looks like he'll be able to TP out, so it cost them the Aegis. I mean, considering how this game is going, that's not that bad for Liquid, but they did expend a lot of big ults that have long cooldowns.
That was honestly masterfully played by Liquid. I think that fight is exceptionally difficult to get that result in. They did so many things right about, you know, just being super patient on the Tide with the Ravage, about poking and prodding to try to force Spirit's heroes into bad positions, but they still stood firm. If this wasn't as one-sided of a game as it is, that would have been such an awesome fight for them. I think that was the best executed
Stop that, Liquid, don't do it!
The fact of the matter is, you're just too poor. So it's got to be even better than that. And keep in mind, there was a 4v5 as well, right? There was no Willow in that, so. But they're doing their best. They're doing what their lineup can right now.
Syndra.
Okay. Paladin Sword.
Aghanim Scepter for Mr. Collapse.
Did he buy it? Very nice. There you go. Now he just needs the Arcane Blink, right?
So can stop being laughed at. Well, Nouns got knocked out.
That's the big boys version of that build, I suppose. But yeah, now his call will have less cooldown. This Ag is actually super value. Lowers the cooldown of Berserker's Call for some reason, right? And anybody that's called will be Battle Hunger. Now Battle Hunger will steal armor, essentially. So pretty damn good. I think this was like... This was buffed like 10 different times, just very small increments.
Yeah.
Now I think it's actually crazy.
Oh, Nisha.
At the call from Collapse. Will he be able to get this kill? The Soulbind is there, though. Shield Rune activated right now onto Laurel, so he's super tanky.
Oh, Mag. There's still the up though. Holy shit. The fucking suck from CK. Hiya. RP was not fast enough.
To the base now. Insania is their target. He's going to get Tidal Wave back into the fray, and he will likely fall shortly after. 2 for nothing. And now Yatoro looking for another set of barracks. There's the fortification from Liquid, though. 30k lead for Spirit.
Remember, they don't know for a fact there's no buyback on Magnus, so they might be a little bit wary here, but I think if anything, they would just like to force it out. Yatoro has got to feel super confident with the coverage that he has, and even without an Aegis, he can frontline with BKB ready. It's just not really possible for Liquid's heroes to kill him through these 5,000 health and all this armor and the backup.
Dude,
so it's just gonna keep going
too strong. Chaos suck.
Okay, well,
his beam from freaking
he probably doesn't have it at all. Is the call here? And
Phoenix. And then just collapse on my lugs.
This doesn't turn into mega creep. She needs to do some sort of crazy stalling tactics, but you don't have the heroes for it.
A dead shot to start things out. Try to delay as much as possible. Calling down.
And coming in.
Looking for an opening.
Do they see him?
It's going to be the range racks in a minute. If they get the melee, that is going to be megas. Still 10 seconds without the Magnus. Zai gonna get initiated on. He can't even use Dead on the
Oh my god, butter! This Tide is butter!
For Spirit, and they're gonna be able to get out without losing a single member of their team. Let's see how disciplined they want to be. Because they don't know that Zai doesn't have buyback, I believe.
Right.
He's 700 gold off, so it's not timer.
Let's go, Fuma.
Yeah, very important to do that with the
in the water.
Battle Hunger to everybody's Mickey trying to keep him at bay. There's a skewer in from Nisha onto the Kunkka. Laurel in a bit of trouble. Nice egg with the Sunner, going to keep him quite healthy.
Oh shit! Oh nice! Oh my god! Piss beam egg! 2 OP!
And Team Spirit completely dominate game number 1.
Yeah, that was just world class. I don't really know what else to say. Made Liquid look. I mean, they made Liquid look weak, but I also think there's some clear adjustments that Liquid can make going into the next game in terms of draft and overall strategy. They felt a little bit stifled, too much of the same thing in their strategy.
Collapse too good,
Spirit
man.
Just were able to effectively win the game primarily through skirmishing, right? They recognized, okay, Liquid's lineup wants to take these big 5-on-5 engagements. What we're going to do is we're just going to have Axe blink call the first guy. We're going to pile on that guy and kill him. And then their combo kind of falls apart. So as long as Collapse gets to have this kind of a start.
Because we're watching our team, okay? We're watching our team.
His Axe.
Yep.
Ends the game.
He delivers every time, it feels like.
15, 2, and 15. That is a dominant performance in the upper bracket. Just one more win away from securing, I believe it's top 3 in TI-12.
And as much as we highlighted him, played really well, right? And Blitz talked about in the pregame interview, he's like, Miposhka is the most annoying player in the world to play against. He played a phenomenal safe lane Phoenix. We didn't really cover it that much in this game.
Melody.
But just got off to a really good start. He ends the game 7-3 and 26 as position 5 Phoenix in this game. And his egg placements, his Sunrays in these team fights were phenomenal. So a lot of people you can praise in this game. I think everybody on Spirit really showed up.
Okay, I believe the panel is ready to break this one down. What do you guys have to say about Collapse?
Oh, we have a lot to say. Thank you so much, Sunsfan and Cinnamon. We have a lot to say about Collapse. I wanna take our attention to Collapse's Axe because Sheep. I looked up the stats.
Okay.
The hero has been played 4 times over the entire event. Didn't do great. 50% win rate. What was that?
That was Collapse Axe. I mean, the guy is amazing on the hero. He always has been. Even when the hero isn't in meta, he'll still pull it out of his pocket and get those clutch wins with it. He was phenomenal. He used every inch of any advantage they had on the map to put so much danger. Like, you had Liquid playing on Ward's top, and then Tide wants to push out bot. They didn't give him that space. You're not allowed. Not even one way.
Oh no.
Oh, this one was so painful.
Oh. It's just a, this is a Blade Mail meta. Everybody buys Blade Mail on literally every hero under the sun. So this was painful to you.
Yeah, I mean, this game, it was, Collapse had a 10-minute, 40-second Blink Dagger plus Vanguard, and then nearly less than a minute later, he's looking at Zion mid lane on the Tide. He's meter having mid, instantly kills him off, and you could feel that this entire game was set around the pace of when can Axe initiate. Sure, it did have a couple opportunities where Liquid maybe got a turnaround kill or 2, but the entire theme was just pick-off after pick-off after pick-off. And for me, when you look back in hindsight for Liquid's draft, it's 3 melee cores running into a Phoenix, a Kunkka, a Willow, an Axe. It's not the most comfortable of lineups to play into when you aren't leading from laning phase.
I mean, definitely. I was just looking at it. It's like I was having some flashbacks to some famous player from OG playing this Axe. So definitely, I mean, that looked even better. So it goes to say something. Collapse is one of those players that really start to shine when there's everything on the line. You don't really see much of them during the year, but when it comes to big tournaments, Riyadh, TIs, he always performs.
Yeah, we did see a glimpse of what Team Liquid was going for. We heard our commentary team say it. It was too late at that point. They were too far behind. How do you play into a deficit like this, Matu? If you're on the losing side, your only way is to try to claw back in. How do you do that?
It's practically impossible. Just the nature of these heroes is that Liquid's heroes cannot team fight against Team Spirit's heroes without BKBs. But before BKBs, they just simply bled too much that they couldn't take a nice fight at all. And basically from minute 15, there was 10 minutes of Spirit dominance, and the game, in my eyes, it just ended there. Like, there's no coming back from this kind of deficit.
I mean, it all started right at that 15-minute mark you're talking about. They're trying to kill Collapse, it's Axe by himself, and then it's like Murta goes in, and then Tide comes in, and a Mag goes in. It's like, and if you're not killing him then, the next 10-20 minutes of the game is going to be Team Spirit show to put on, and that they did.
It was pretty bad when Nisha didn't use the RP on the Axe. That kind of like led to his death and them not getting the kill, things spiraling out of control. He went for that harpoon as well, which I think was maybe a bit greedy playing into Kunkka. I just want to say, by the way, we talk up Collapse. There's a reason VP banned Kunkka all 3 games they played against them, and that was one of the closest series of this TI so far. LOL is really
I'm always
so
like impressed with Collapse.
Good. The way he plays
this is how
and the everything, all
like
the combos he gets.
So usually when I have an axe or even any offlane with a blink, usually they are always behind the team ready to blink. But like,
how can you fight when
look at Collapse. Collapse is legit. Collapse is legit. The first one, he is at the front and still blinks in instead of being behind team, waiting for team to get gone on, then blinking in.
Felt like you can make a case for them that they had an amazing game because Team Spirit as a whole.
Yeah. Like every offlane that I have with the blink is always behind team and will blink in to counter initiate instead of initiating.
You know, really a force to be reckoned with, but well, Team Spirit knows how to reckon with it, and I look forward to hearing what Purge has to say on the matter.
But the thing is as well is that the team needs to be ready for when, since Axe is like first, the team actually needs to be ready for when he does blink in.
In fact, they've been podium finishing at every single tournament since the last TI. We saw Team Tundra win, claiming the Aegis. They beat Team Secret, and Team Liquid ended up getting 3rd place at that tournament. And every major, Valve major since that period has been Gaming Gladiators playing against Team Liquid. But it's not just those 2 teams that have been doing well. Across the Western European region, they've had amazing placements. At the Lima Major, they had 3 Western European teams in the top 6. At the Berlin Major, they had 4 within top 6. And 4 months ago at Bali, every single Western European
I feel like I could play offlane, but I'm too slow pressing my buttons.
For them,
because a lot of times the offlane is you always got to cast something after blink, and I'm too slow to do
and
that.
No surprise, it is the best 2 Gaming Gladiators in Team Liquid. Now, Gaming Gladiators, they had a rough end of the group stage, and that led them into the lower bracket. But since then, they haven't dropped a single game in 3 matches.
I feel like my play style is offlane, but my
so they've been doing fantastic.
My whatchamacallit,
the second best team of the year, but if there's any team in contention,
pressing buttons quickly is not there.
The last couple months, they won Dream League Season 21, they won Riyadh Masters against Team Liquid, and now they're looking TI worthy again, as we saw from that first game. So we'll see if Team Liquid can bring it back, because otherwise it is going to be the end to the reign of Western European Dota for this year.
Thank you very much, Purge. And not just that, I mean, yeah, they have to face each other. If Team Liquid lose here, they would have to face Gaming Gladiators in that lower bracket. So that's going to be one of the 2 eliminated right there. I'm getting a little ahead of myself because this was only game 1 of a best of 3. And normally adaptation Matu happens at this stage.
Of course, you gotta change something. I feel like Liquid fumbled first game. I don't really see that they had a fighting chance in this game, and I think Blitz and Zai are gonna figure out something on the back room and come guns blazing, you know.
Yeah, maybe pick up some heroes that, I don't know, that come out of the blue that haven't been picked yet, for example. I'm sure some people would love to see a...
Okay, I'm gonna use my... Oh, wait. I don't have...
has been quite a bit of fun so far. I think we can all agree on that. However, there is one hero, I mean there are many, but there is one hero that I care about that has not been picked, and that is Timbersaw. Okay, who am I?
Casey.
No, I didn't mean... Timbersaw! No, I did not mean it. You do know who I am. I mean who I'm dressed as.
Timbersaw.
Okay.
Who said techies?
That's so cute.
Okay, I want to ask, can I count on your support to say that Timbersaw should be picked?
That is so cute.
Timbersaw definitely should be picked.
I would have guessed Timbersaw.
Good answer. Thank you. Okay, I'm supposed to ask you what your dog's name is?
My dog's name is Timber for Timbersaw.
Yes! Justice for Timbersaw! Justice for Timbersaw!
Justice for Timbersaw! Justice for Timbersaw!
I feel like you guys would chant whatever I...
Justice for Timbersaw!
I thought it was Techies, not fucking Timbersaw!
For him by name.
Look, it's okay. I got my plushie for Timbersaw. It's okay. I give us some love to Timbersaw.
Could you give us a quick summary as to why we do not Timbersaw?
Yeah, so there's only been two top 8 TI players right now who are playing in their pubs. That's New and Collapse. All 3 of them.
Oh my god,
he
fell! He fell!
They've not won a single game. Yeah, it's just not that strong right now, and games lasting so long into the 45.
Timbersaw and Techies are both goblins.
To dominate the lane, win within 25-30. You don't really like scaling too much unless you're ATF, where you might have a different perception on the hero. But yeah, sorry guys, sorry Casey.
Bad hero.
Bad hero.
But this is for all the Timbersaw fans. This is good news.
You're
because
peanuts.
All you want to do is watch Dota.
You are the epitome of the peanut command.
From watching it, or when you're done watching it, you want to play Dota. And what normally happens at some point? Maybe there's a patch. Maybe he gets buffed. Normally, if a hero doesn't get picked, they get buffed, guys. That's what you want.
Are you leaking something right now?
No, I have no idea. I have actually, this is disclaimer, I have no clue if there will be a patch or if Timbersaw will be
Yeah,
buffed.
well, then you just get the cycle where Meepo gets buffed one time, gets played in like 3 pro games, and then he gets nerfed back into irrelevance.
I feel like someone is...
That's true. We need a
Timber, 8-9k player.
Exactly. There we go.
Yeah.
I feel like someone's a little bit too personally
I feel like Timbersaw is like more tanky than...
Every time. Speaking of personally invested, Matu...
Tidehunter.
Your boys, they need your help, right? This is where they need to change something, and you've been talking about how at the moment Zai and Will are talking about what they should do different. Last year that was you and Will. What would you do? What would you say?
What would I say?
Yeah, what would you change?
Casey,
you need to reset instantly. You just gotta tell the guys like, okay, we messed up, you know? It's life. It happens. Like even the best they're gonna mess up the draft or the play.
The heck?
Go for the next
that makes me even. That makes me want to click the ignore button. RCD.
Faced
What the heck?
elimination million times. I was just telling guys, here we go again. Let's go.
It is, to be honest, if you're a Team Liquid
We
fan,
are going to so we're gonna go eat out for lunch, and then we are going to go to a dinosaur museum today.
I can only imagine. Looking ahead for game number 2 here as well.
For 20 centimeters.
Liquid side that we have to think about,
Yeah.
but also on the side of Team Spirit, it went flawlessly, but you busted out the axe. This is now a hero that is going to be on the radar and will be addressed.
Yeah, I think it's nice just having these heroes in the back of your opponent's mind, because with the new drafting changes, there's not enough bans to take away, specialty players. And I think the cool thing, at least with Collapse, is like no one thinks or cares about an axe, and then it just appears, and you're like, now we have
Which
to think
one?
about
What?
it.
Wait,
I
my
don't
face
think
shiny
Liquid are going to overreact and think
I
about
just
this
sprayed
next
this
game.
setting
If anything,
spray.
it's more going to be, okay, Spirit can do this to us. Maybe the Muerta is the big discussion for me. It's they're picking it, they're trying to flex it, they're trying to
Clubbing
keep it
a
open.
dinosaur.
They weren't doing it that much
No,
beforehand.
it's not gonna be.
They did it once, they
We're-
lost. They
we're,
first
like,
picked it, put a carry, they won.
I'm
So
streaming this
maybe
game
that
because-
week break, trying to force Muerta a little bit more than they need to.
No,
I think they
I'm
might
a
put that
Team
idea to the
Spirit
side, or if they do
fan.
pick it up,
I'm taking my poise to go see the
don't
new
kind of put
Leo
themselves in the position
DiCaprio
of having
movie.
3 melee cores into
Oh,
everything else.
you're
Like,
such
that's
a
when
good
the axe
employer,
looks insane.
JC.
Yeah, it did look
Having
pretty good.
movie
When we're looking at
days
this
with
matchup as well,
him.
a bit of an elephant in the room, maybe.
You gonna
should,
dig
but
up the
Team
dino
Spirit
bones?
often
No,
has in the last
I'll
few
just be
months.
there
Once
dusting
Team
off the
Spirit
bones.
started reaching peak form again, they've had Team Liquid's number. What about their
It's a
playstyle matches
it's
up
a
so well against
Jurassic
them?
They just, I think in this
The
case, they
Jurassic
definitely just had a better
theme park.
draft. I think there's definitely potential there for Liquid to come back and make it even.
Yeah.
I do think that the problem is like we said, these teams both have really good infrastructure. They
Why
just have really
is
solid
Zai at the
gameplay.
front?
When you're playing against Liquid, it's very important not to just panic and let things snowball. And
They
Spirit
do
are very good
tallest
at
to
the early game.
shortest.
They improved that from the beginning of the year, and now they're just very stable. And that's hard to break apart.
That is hard to break apart. Perhaps something that might be making a difference here for game number 2 as
so,
the
like,
players once
I
again
love
walk out on
movies,
stage to take their
but
place
recently
in the
I'm
booths.
hating going
One
to the
thing that
cinemas
might be
because
different in game
everyone's
number 2
just
is
so
the pick order.
annoying.
Now that sounds pretty lame in
In
terms
cinemas.
of pick orders change, guys. Woohoo! But it might actually make a big strategic difference, T.
Oh,
I mean, it's okay. It's not a great, it's not a
No, it is, but
it's not a hype topic, but it kind of is as well.
to try and summarize it as easy
But
as
Zai is
possible
manly,
without
so he
any
walks in.
graphics or anything.
Yes.
First pick.
That 'cause
you
you
have
live in
3
a dairy
bans
suburb.
into 1 pick.
Probably, but
and
it's the
then
same
you then have
even
2
if you
bans
go
in the
to the
next phase.
cinemas in the
So you
city.
basically
though.
are forcing your opponent to instantly react to your 1 pick. You then get double the amount of bans in the next phase.
Yep.
And you close out the end of the second phase after seeing 4 heroes. So you pretty much have 3 points within the draft where you have at least the edge on your opponent. And then what does your opponent get? I get last pick, yay! That's it. That's all they really get. So first pick, in like without any showing you, I think it is just conceptually very powerful. I hope I
mean, I do agree. First,
nice.
OP.
There we go.
That's all there is to say about it. You get to pick the most imba hero in the meta, and this time T-Spirit picked Phoenix. Liquid didn't answer it at all in the last game, and it was like...
I'm a collapse fanboy.
Is it just me? I just find it ridiculous.
Here it depends on
picking, like,
really? I've had all good experiences at Cinema, or you're not.
Not a single hero on Liquid's lineup is going to answer that. And coupled with
there's always at least someone
Carnage.
talking.
No
there's always at least someone has
in
the
that
feet on the
It was
chair.
just bad. I did not like the Muerta response. I think
It's
if you're
probably
putting her on
my
support,
area.
you need to
I
make
think
sure
RCD's
she's,
right.
like, she's not going to be able to
My
rotate.
area.
She's going to maybe lack some damage early. This hero's kind of greedy, wants to buy like Atos, so on. You're picking a Grimstroke that can't really play
Maybe
with her.
it's
You're
a
picking
Sydney
a Tide
thing.
that kind of ends up getting countered by this Axe. Your Sven wants to farm, and then you
I
pick a
clapped
Varus
during the
last pick,
intros,
and
that's
you try and buy a Harpoon and then
fine.
play with them, and you saw how the moves went. They just lacked damage. There was no real cohesion or idea to any of the heroes they picked. They did not combo with each other, other than we have lots of team fight, but our team fight is countered by Phoenix, so okay.
Wowzers.
The issue as well is, unfortunately, right now we're in a position where the Snapfire, the Mirana's been picked 4 times, Snapfire's been picked 5 times. I think TSM was one of the better teams at doing this, where Ari would play the Snapfire in the 4 position. He would still play for that traditional I see egg, I kill egg. But not many teams put themselves in a position where they can do that. Like, Mirana's kind of a dead hero. Snapfire 4, I think, has legs to it, especially in this very aggro
Feet
meta.
on the chair.
But you need the 4-player to want to play it. And outside of that, it's like...
Yeah, okay, my cinemas aren't that. The only cinemas that does that is...
Nice. And as traditional as the 2 heroes that I mentioned.
We've seen Lina make a little bit of a comeback.
Is one the suburb
The only issue with Lina is that
No,
with the whole
hello.
tanky meta, she kind
We're
of
on
got
a
shoved
dead
out a bit
hero.
because she's just easy to kill. I've seen that she seems to struggle
Okay,
into the
there's
current
cinemas
hero.
in the
And then
hood.
you would be going the axe build anyway and trying to do that magic burst rather than the like turret style long range pew pew.
There's a very easy solution though. We heard
you wouldn't know.
We heard Infew
You're not
Blitz
even
right before
from
the game
Sydney.
started, and he mentioned like, oh, Miposhka is on absolute fire this international, so we banned out his Enchantress. I feel like maybe just ban out his Phoenix. This was the first time he played Phoenix, so maybe they just didn't see it coming that much. But maybe that's just a solution. That being said, if Team Liquid is first pick, it means they only, which is still a lot, but only have 3 bans. And that might not be enough to ban out all the comfort heroes of Team Liquid. But we're going to find out what's going to happen at the start of the game as it's happening right now.
Do not. The fuck? No one knows.
Team Spirit versus Team Liquid. Game 2.
Game 2 coming our way in the upper bracket semifinals, so no one will be eliminated from this series.
Jabrafy Rebellion made it to grand finals. What?
Grim
No
Reaper
way.
Gaming Gladiators, and that is not someone
Pause
you want
just
to meet
straight-
there.
oh, I see,
Team
I see.
Liquid now with their backs against
That's
the
actually
rope to
pretty good,
meet that
JC.
fate.
Yeah, there's only a
Down
couple of
below in the
suburbs
lower
where
bracket. They will
there
be on
are
the Radiant
cinemas with the
side once
recliner
again.
seats.
We got
But
Team
even still
Spirit
then,
on
people
the
still
dire
like
side. The
talk
pick order
in the
did change,
cinemas.
so we got Team Liquid with their
Team
first
Spirit
pick,
won the first game,
advantage,
Drano.
as I'll say. That
I
is
need to
the
go
preferred
soon, guys, in
pick
30
side
minutes.
for,
I'm gonna have to turn off
most
stream.
teams. That being said, Radiant side also preferred, so I feel like for Liquid, it's Christmas tea.
Yeah, so Radiant being the preferred side as well because your
It's a
Satan
little
jungle is
Parramatta.
just larger than the Dire jungle. So
I
during the
wish,
points of
I
farm,
wish.
It is harder to smoke from the Dire side into the Radiant, find that hero, quickly get a kill, and then back away. And then, of course, the 20-minute Roshan time being daytime on the Radiant side. So there's a lot of small
She lives in
advantages
Mount
to that.
Druitt.
And on top, they have the pick. So, yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, and Sheep, they addressed the Kunkka issue that you mentioned.
Very good. Thank you, Liquid. I will actually say VP, I think maybe, I don't know if it's regional familiarity, but when they played in the game that they actually kind of stomped Spirit in, VP banned Primal Beast, Enchantress, Kunkka, and Phoenix. So pointing out the Phoenix as a good ban was also a great shout.
Thank you. I'm Analyst Cheever now.
I
know you're looking very skeptical. No need for
he
that.
He knows his job is in danger, Cheever.
Yeah.
Keep this one out.
It's all good. All right, let's see what we got then. Because, yeah, Enchantress Kunkka removed from the pool. We got Team Spirit removing the Primal, the Bristle, the Treant Protector as well. They're now thinking about their last one. I'm going to mention a couple of heroes that are still in the pool that were banned last. Because CK, Chaos Knight, now banned as well. As Matu mentioned, a hero that is very popular at the moment. But Nature's Prophet, Ancient Apparition, still in the pool as they were banned last time. And also Spirit Breaker, Brewmaster. And then with that, the Phoenix we already mentioned. So pick your poison, Matu. Which one are you going to go for?
As for Liquid, I mean, I would prefer the Grimstroke. I feel like he has the most flexibility out of all of them.
Drano.
And I feel like this hero does some crazy stuff. Not much to say about that.
All right, fair enough. They're going into their bonus time for this ban. That being said, Spirit did the same thing.
I feel like in terms of clothing, JC, I feel like blue is my favorite color in terms of clothing. Blue and pink, but it's not my favorite color in real life.
Have you seen how fast previous game was?
Yeah, but I want an hour-long game.
No, I said I have 2 more set of aligners left.
We just had a 78 whatever minute. Were you not satisfied?
No.
Okay,
I want every game to be that long.
Let's go.
But no, so for Liquid, of course, when you say pick their poison, they go for Spirit Breaker.
I feel like I'm gonna have to extend it because
4 or 3.
I think they said they wanted to fix my overbite.
Snap counter pick response.
So that's going. It's only been like 6 months.
Just save whoever
legit.
Jumped on to prevent Spirit Breaker charging away, and also with your ultimate with that purge. Sorry. Just stopping Spirit Breaker being so tanky with the bulldoze. So yeah, overall a very good pick, and they can put it 4 or 5 wherever they need to.
Yeah,
so if they want
no,
to,
I still got 2 more. She gave me all of my sets in one go because I was very good. I was very diligent with my Invisaligns. Kenji, outtrains that!
If you're able to put wards like deeper on the map, and give vision to like camps, then you can use that to charge through waves and cut things that you wouldn't normally be able to see if you didn't have wards set up in lanes. So I really liked seeing that earlier. I would love to see that utilized again. If this is a core Spirit Breaker, we've seen the effect of how annoying this hero can be when he just takes your waves, doesn't let you push, causes problems.
Wait, where
I
am
have this feeling it's not
I?
going to be core this time because the SD is already picked, and
Yeah.
I feel like SD really hard counters like Spirit Breaker.
Yeah.
Because in the previous years, they didn't have a single way to deal with Spirit Breakers. She was just absolutely raining free.
Guys, my
charging
emotes
anything she
disappeared
want,
on
like
my
he wants,
phone.
and do whatever you want. But this game, I feel like it's not going to be that easy.
Yeah, that's why I think I need to double check, but the Nature's Prophet that they played, did they play it support?
Blue is my favorite color, period.
On the side
That's the same with my
of
sister.
Liquid,
She can't decide
they have
between
played
blue
Nature's
or
Prophet
green.
Only on Boxy so far.
Okay, sure.
And for Spirit Breaker, they played it on both.
Sure.
So my
okay.
first has
I'm
21,
just
then they
thinking,
were
like,
put in
I
second
want to see
set,
that
then
really
third.
aggressive ranged hero to play with the Spirit Breaker, because if SD is 5, you don't really play forwards in the lane. You might disrupt to annoy someone. But
Oh no, these
I
are
want to
mine. I
use
only
the
had
Spirit Breaker forward
17
position
sets.
To then body for your offlaner to just really obliterate that lane, and then from there you can take the fight elsewhere.
I meant 17.
They're banning out the Invoker and the Tusk on the side of Team Liquid. Are those 2 bans that we can learn something from, Matu?
I just really like that approach because obviously Laurel hasn't been to the scene for that long, and he definitely has his like the best heroes. When I think of Laurel, I think of Kunkka, I think of Invoker. Just get him out of there and just let him play something he's maybe not as good at. Like if he's like god tier at these heroes, he might be like pro level at the other ones. So you need to make things easier for yourself too.
Get him out of the comfort zone.
Yeah.
I know he plays a mean Zeus as well, but I don't think that hero is really pickable at the moment.
Sidebar. I'm really upset that both Shaker and Ogre aren't in the meta, only because of when they're picked here and we get to see them clapping.
Sure, but Shaker is in the meta. What are you talking about?
I mean, it's not picked though. I mean, in this
Hope you have fun with the dinos. Maybe you can buy some nice souvenirs. Question mark.
I know it's JC.
Okay, that's fine.
But ever since I did a hard reset on my computer, I don't know where to find my notifications. I have to log in.
I will say something I would like to see is if Spirit have a Shadow Demon, usually you see that accompanied.
Sorry. Wait, I gotta like
with Shadow Demon, usually you see that accompanying these carries that really like use it, like the Luna,
that.
CK's band type thing.
Because I can't see who's done it because of my thingamabobs.
Spirit Breaker, especially on support, which we're leaning towards, it's much less effective. Like you want to be able to play off pickoffs.
Oh my God, Jason!
Cannot deal with swarms.
Yeah.
TY to be able to address that now in advance.
The key thing here is this Spirit Breaker, you charge, there's disruption, there's an egg. Both supports now can actually protect themselves against a
UI
Spirit
for
Breaker.
the
And that's why I kind of lean to Matthew's
again.
point. I would like to see them push it more
Super
into support
spoiling
role.
me.
We've seen VP do it with FNG, Liquid do it with Boxy. You don't have, it doesn't have to be a core. Like, just because all the other teams are doing it, I think drafting wise, it should be the 4.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I feel
TY
like
for
Liquid
the
is in some trouble
resubby.
already.
Ibu
I don't
Takoyaki.
like
Your
how
train
this
has
is
been
exactly
cancelled.
set up for them.
My train
I
has
feel
not
like
been. Wait, has
SBD
it?
Phoenix very good against Spirit Breaker.
No.
Now you have to kind
It's on
of decide what
time.
you want to do, and after this third pick.
Okay,
Spirit's
I think we
gonna
have to
like
go
the,
now. This is our train.
the,
Stop hiding.
advantage in regards of
Man,
like
you're making me
answering what
sweat.
Team Liquid wants to build. Because they have to show a core hero now.
If I look at the support,
It's just because I'm not investing in compendium. Well, it's because apparently they said the sets are gonna come after TI, which is kind of weird.
He's gonna be able to hit that life drain, heal his carry up. If they don't.
Okay, I need to go because or else we're gonna miss the train. Kenji man, we need to go.
Really scary.
I mean, Pakna is Imba. I'm
Alrighty,
sure.
guys.
People don't pick it as much as I like to.
I need to go, but TY for watching Team Spirit with me. Bye bye. Bye bye. Thanks again for the dono, JC, and Ibu Takoyaki for the resubbies.
When Spirit played it, it looked really good.
Guys, Team Spirit better win. My last words. Okay, my